Bet horse racing on DRF Bets. We'll match your first deposit up to $250. Get free expert picks and past performances, plus weekly cash back, all from Daily Racing Form, the most trusted name in horse racing. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, race number 3 at Belmont Park on Belmont Stakes Saturday. It's a grade 1. It's the Woody Stephens 3-year-olds going 7/8 of a mile. Before we get to the analysis, head on over to drf.com/Belmont Stakes. Take 25% off the retail price for the Belmont Stakes Winners Package. You get past performances, clocker reports, betting strategies, and the player's guide. Here's the field for the Woody Stephens Stakes. The big name in here is the number 3, Jackie's Warrior, unbeaten around one turn, Mike. They tried him on the Kentucky Derby Trail briefly, but he is a sprinter miler at heart, and he gets to do what he wants on Saturday.
Yeah, true enough. I mean, listen, for a horse who's as talented as he is, you had to at least find out if he could stretch out a little bit. They tried it. It didn't work. Cut him back to the one-turn mile last time. That was a pretty impressive effort, Dan. He went fast from start to finish.
And that is his game. Speed, speed, speed. And as we look at the Timeform U.S. pace projector, Jackie's Warrior expected to make the lead in here. Drain the Clock's a pretty fast horse. He just went gate to wire in the grade 3 Bayshore. Caddo River is turning back in distance, but Jackie's Warrior is the fastest from the gate if he breaks.
Yeah, he does seem like the speed of this race. Caddo River does have some speed as well. He's cutting back. We'll see if he can keep up early, drain the clock. I felt like maybe he wasn't quite as fast as Jackie's Warrior, Dan, but he's pretty talented.
Turnbacks generally do well in races like the Woody Stephens, and I wonder if the number 1, Nova Rags, will appreciate going route to sprint. Let's watch his race in the Peter Pan going 9 furlongs last time out at Belmont. I thought he sat a good trip behind the pace. The pace wasn't very fast, however, and we see him making a run. He's got a big look at Promise Keeper in the stretch, and he just flattens out. I think he's going to appreciate turning back in distance. Now we'll find out if he's good enough.
Yeah, I agree with all that stuff. I think cutting back is really going to benefit this horse. I'm not sure how good he really is. That being said, I thought he ran well in that Peter Pan last time, Dan. He set a perfect trip early, but he made a real run at the winner there and just got turned away at the end over a distance he just may not want. I like him cutting back. I think he's interesting in here at around his morning line odds, and I could use him.
Like Jackie's Warrior, the number 2, Drain the Clock, is unbeaten around one turn. Let's watch his race in the Bayshore back on April the 3rd, going this 7/8 of a mile, cutting back off a runner-up effort in the Fountain of Youth. And as you see here, Arad Ortiz has opened things up, and this overmatched field just cannot run with him.
Yeah, he was too good for these horses. Right on the lead in this race with no trouble getting there. He was helped a little bit when the other speed in the race, Barron, stumbled very badly at the start. I think it gave Drain the Clock maybe even more of an advantage, but he was probably just going to win anyway, Dan. He hasn't run a bad race yet. Even when they stretched him out in the Fountain of Youth, he probably doesn't want that distance. He ran well that day. All good races on his card. He's got to get a little faster.
Jackie's Warrior was one of the best 2-year-olds of 2020. Dominant victories in both the Hopeful and the Champagne. They stretched him out. He couldn't carry his speed that far. They turned him back to a one-turn mile last time out in the Pat Day Mile, and he went fast, as you said, from start to finish. He took a race-long challenge from Dream Shake and never let that horse go by.
Yeah, that's an interesting point too, Dan, because we talked about the pace projector. We didn't mention Dream Shake, but he kept up with Jackie's Warrior from the start of that Pat Day Mile and was still there at the end. So that's another horse that you have to concern yourself with early on in this race. I mean, I don't know what to say, Dan. The cutback seemed to really help him last time. I get that nobody was really closing in that race. Was that because nobody else showed up, or was it because Jackie's Warrior and Dream Shake ran everybody out of the race? I think you could look at it either way. I just think this horse is good, and going from 8 to 7 probably is even better for him.
Well, if you like Jackie's Warrior, you got to give Dream Shake a look. I mean, he gave Jackie's Warrior all he could handle in the Pat Day Mile. His one and only sprint was a big victory, going 6.5 furlongs in his career debut. And maybe someone else will do the dirty work this time around and put the chase on Jackie's Warrior, allowing Dream Shake perhaps to make one run from tracking range. Drawing outside the 2 speeds could help this horse.
I agree with all that. And that's exactly how I looked at the race too, Dan. I feel like maybe this time Flavian Pret just let somebody else try to put the pressure on and then make his run a little bit later. And it could obviously make the difference. He got beat ahead last time after doing all the work up front. So he's a very dangerous horse. And if you like him, you got to be pretty happy to see Jackie's Warrior 7-5 and him 5-2.
Two-lane Trista, number 5, is 20-1 on the morning line. Not bad for a horse that hasn't finished out of the exacta in all 3 lifetime starts, but he's taking a big step up in class, never finishing second in sort of a questionable entry-level optional claiming race.
Yeah, I think that's true. Who knows if he's going to class up with this field? He's going to be the longest shot on the board. Personally, I think he's run well in all 3 of his starts so far. They're going to test him here, and they're going to test him in a big way against this field.
It'll be interesting to see how Florent Giroux rides Caddo River, a horse that showed big speed to win the Smarty Jones around a 2-turn mile at Oaklawn to kick off his campaign. Let's watch his most recent start, the Arkansas Derby, where he set some legitimate fractions while pressured by the odds-on favorite Concert Tour. He's beaten here, but he comes back, re-rallies for second over Concert Tour. I thought all in all, it was a solid performance, and probably this turn back in distance is what he wants.
That's probably true. I mean, ultimately, maybe I overlooked him just a little bit, Dan. I think part of my thinking with not really wanting this horse in this race, aside from the fact that he's not a great price on the morning line, is just that I have no love at all for the Arkansas Derby or the Rebel. I get that you could look at him and say, he did his best over distances he doesn't want. I just hate those 2 races. I do like him cutting back. We'll see what he does here. I could go either way on him. I decided to toss him.
Like you, though, I wonder if maybe I overlooked him a little bit as we take a look at our top selections for the Grade 1 Woody Stevens. Same exact, a different order. I'm hoping Dream Shake turns the tables with a little bit of a different trip. Maybe drain the clock in Caddo River, go after Jackie's Warrior, and soften him up. I think Dream Shake still has some upside. You're going with the Warrior. He's got the speed.
I thought about picking it the same way you did, Dan, and I agree with everything you said about the way the race could set up. I'm going to stick with Jackie's Warrior. I just think he's really good, and I'm going to stay with him here, even at the short price.
3415 for Mike, 4365 for me. It's the Grade 1 Woody Stevens. It's a sensational Belmont Stakes Saturday card. Good luck.